I'm sure you don't remember me. My name's Hayat, Mordecai Hayat. I wanted to offer my condolences.
Thank you.
Please, forgive my prying. I know Mr. Szulski took nitroglycerin for his heart, but how did he pass away? Was that his cause of death? His heart?
We've ruled out any coronary causes since the doctors couldn't confirm whether the deceased had a heart.
Yes, I understand. My condolences, once again. I'll leave you alone. I'm sure you want to bid farewell to your father.
I knew you'd turn up.
I wouldn't miss this for the world.
Stasha loved you in his own way. You look well. Lygia said he found some quack healer.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You don't recognize me, do you? But do you remember who taught you how to shoot starlings?
Uncle Voronin, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I probably wouldn't recognize myself anymore. Go look in on your sister, she's worried. We'll talk at home.
Sister?
Wiktor. I'm so glad you came.
I'm glad too. How are you holding up?
All this caught me off guard, but for now I don't have time to think things through calmly.
Have you written to Mother?
Yes, but what can you expect? You know what Nadia is like. It was never her style to show up for family events like this. It's getting late, and we've still got the reading of Papa's will ahead of us at home. And I'll leave you two alone. I suppose you've got...
Fine, let's get this. So, it was me who got it right in the end. Back then, on the train platform, was the last time we saw one another. 15 years ago. After brief suffering, fell asleep. Brief? Did you write a tyrant, bigot, and liar, mistakenly absolved? That's better. The day you died, you visited me in my dreams. I was a child when you hounded me out of here, and I remember. But in my dream you looked older. You gave me hell as usual. You didn't believe. You were wrong. I've come back with I'm sorry there are so many things I didn't get to say. All those years, I said them over and over to myself. How you were never able to admit a mistake. Mother, because she wanted something for herself in life. Lygia. Me, because I was born a thaumaturge, but I didn't want to live following your... And now... Farewell, Father.
Am I intruding?
I was reflecting at the grave of my beloved father.
You tricked me. I heard something else. Stanisław and I were acquainted. You might say I knew everything about your father. Mr. Wiktor Szulski, isn't it? Your absence from Warsaw has happily come to an end, I hope.
With all due respect, this is my personal business. It was my father who knew you, not me.
True. Please forgive me. Again.
I didn't...
My name's Konieczkin. Ivan Konieczkin. Goodbye.
Such interesting friends you had. I guess I'm more tired than I thought. We can go. The hardest thing was getting the lid of the urn. The scattering I could handle.
You can play the clown, but I know how much this has cost you. I'm glad you went.
Love at a funeral. Eros postmortem. Is it suitable for a young lady in mourning to fraternize with bachelors? Konstancja Szabłowska, the Warsaw Courier. Could I ask for a brief comment?
Hyena.
Thank you.
I suggest you leave. Otherwise, I'll overlook your womanhood and make sure you can never pronounce a
You'd permit that to happen, Judge? Maybe I should write a...
And who would let you print?
Someday the press will get the Russian boot off...
I'm afraid none of us will live to see... Come on, children. I'm sure my Petya is already waiting for...
I'd love to see my cousin.
Are you coming with us?
Thanks.
Get in. I'm sure the lawyer is already...
Miss, your guests have arrived. The lawyer's upstairs too, waiting. A trifle jittery.
Thank you, Grażyna, dear. Let the guests wet.
I'll just wet my whistle and join you.
Make sure Uncle makes it upstairs sober. And also...
Master Wiktor, good God! Half your face covered, but I could tell right away it was you. You look just like your father in his youth. Completely his spitting image. Should I make you some cocoa, Master? It would warm you up a little.
Make an extra creamy one for Ligia.
Oh, I won't skimp on her. Now, your sister's putting a brave face on all this, but she's really having a hard time. It's lovely to see you again. But that's enough jabber for now. I've got the guests and the cocoa, and I've got to whip up some food for you all later. We'll talk soon.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I thought I'd have to drink alone.
So many goodies laid out for the guests. Having trouble picking something for yourself, Judge?
But this was Stasios. It was special. Amber liqueur with quinces.
I think you mean quince liqueur with amber, right? If it's not here, I'm sure it's in the basement. But I won't grope around down there in the dark now. I've got my hands full.
Now, I don't want to trouble you either. Wiktor, could you track down a little bottle for your uncle?
I suppose I'm obligated to accept this mission.
Good lad. A nephew like you is a treasure.
I don't want to put my foot in my mouth again. I already failed to recognize someone.
Well, I should think so. I was the victim of one of your starling hunts. Voronins must not...
Petya! Forgive me.
Just some heart problems. Not
We'll have to meet up again.
goodbye.
No luck. Oh well.
How did it go? Mission accomplished?
I think this is the one Uncle wanted.
Yes. This is our little funeral battle. And recently, we've been seeing one another more. So, to an easy death, as Stasio and I used to say.
How did he die?
Hasn't Lygia told you?
I haven't even had the
He didn't suffer. But such images in the memory are better saved for later. What then? Am I drinking?
May the ground be soft, Father. I'm not betting there's an afterlife.
Well, obligation.
You'll all have to wait for me a moment yet.
All right.
I am ready, Mr. Szulski. I only need all of you to be present. Can we start reading your...
Yes, let his will be done. Again.
Let's begin if everyone is ready. Would you all please... Ladies and gentlemen, by the power of my office vested in me, Mr. Szulski's last will and testament were prepared several years ago in the... My last will and testament recorded in the year of our Lord, in the name of the Holy Trinity.
Excuse me, but could we get to the details?
Wiktor.
I think we all want to address more temporal matters, don't we?
In theory,
Would you be so kind?
Of course. Here we are. All movables and immovables relating to the family enterprise I entrust to the care and administration. To my brother-in-law and oldest friend, Alexander my collection of muskets and 2 revolvers dating to the...
Stasio.
Enjoy your retirement. Now, Mr. Fedorov, what did my father leave my mother?
Wiktor, be serious.
Nothing. There is a special item reflecting the absolute lack of any bequest to my former spouse, Nadia Fyodorovna Voronina.
I wish you success with your business and your hunting. I'm going to have something to...
Just a moment yet, Mr. Szulski. Your name is also mentioned here. I would also like to come to the aid of my only son, Wiktor Szulski, by entrusting him with the use of my personal black grimoire, in the hope that he will be able to make good use of it. This is my last will and testament. Care? However, this last bequest...
Yes, it certainly does.
I am not in possession of this grimoire. The late Mr. Szulski used it up until he...
Meaning it's disappeared? Did father have his grimoire on him at the time of his death?
It was only because of the grimoire that we could identify him at all.
What actually happened? How did he die?
A building collapsed on top of him. I don't know any other way of putting it.
Where did it happen? Where was this building?
the southern part of Śródmieście, not far from the police station.
Of all the possibilities, this was...
He died as he lived, miserably. He couldn't have met a more fitting...
You've got to know that Papa felt guilty. I'm not going to defend him, but I can't criticize him either. Even I don't know what really happened back then with Aborice.
An accident is what happened, and father treated two kids like the worst, as if it had been premeditated.
When a person dies so suddenly, we'll never learn what Stasio carried in his heart.
What do you intend to do?
And Mordechai Chayat, could that be a lead?
I don't think so. He worked with father, but he left more than a year ago.
Do you know where I might find him?
Sadly, no.
Do you have any other ideas?
Father evidently knew a certain Ivan Konieczkin. Have you?
Konieczkin? No.
All sorts of people came to Papa's store. That doesn't mean everyone...
That's true. You've got your work.
I think we have to look for the answer in the...
With your sight, you can make out more in those ruins than I. This is a good lead, but
And where are Father's things at the moment?
you're standing at the very center of his kingdom. Not everything has been sorted through yet, but
In the store?
I've started stock taking there to destroy.
As you wish. Now at least I can see.
Well, now that we know what's got...
I'll see you out.
Goodbye, Uncle. And, Ligia.
The most important thing is you're here now.
How do you find our old stomping ground? Yes, I'm not too fond of this place either. This is where I had my last conversation with my father, just before I left. If you can call it a conversation. Can you see my dreams? Nightmares, actually. Ever since I decided to come back, I keep reliving the same memory. The loan shark incident. I've been seeing his death more and more lately. I wonder if his shop is still there. Perhaps we should go there and check.
Have you found anything yet about the grimoire?
In Father's study, I found a trace of a woman that I couldn't identify.
Probably Svetlana Rumyantseva.
Who is she? And what did Father...
Svetlana is a Russian aristocrat who travels with the Romanovs' court. I can only tell you she was a customer of Father's.
A customer? Where can I find her?
When she's in town, she stays at the Imperial.
She might know something that will help me find the
Not so fast. To get in, you go... Svetlana is famous for her soirees where she hosts the creme de la creme of Warsaw.
What's a soiree?
How long did you say you lived with Mother in Paris? Just a party, if you like. Do you know...
Very funny.
We could go together. And I will...
Sadly, you never... Unfortunately...
There's a shop at 11 Pruzhna Street. We also have barber...
Master Wiktor, let me get...
Yes, a cup of cocoa would do me good.
Help yourself. The pot is in the salon. It's been... Mistress Lee...
And so, the great Stanisław Szulski is dead, crashed by a building.
An awful death. Sheer cruelty. Mr.
That won't take long. Ligia won't open up to me, but...
She's having a rough time, the poor dear. Her heart is heavy, though she doesn't show it. She keeps her chin up and doesn't give in. And it's good. Only she takes after her father.
So, this death, what do you make of it?
I'll tell you in confidence, Master Szulski. Now,
How do you mean, Grażynka?
Don't you suspect some
Do you mean...
That I don't forgive.
Another time?
Always